Humans mastered fire. They built shelters. They developed language. But one day, they pointed their weapons not at an animal, but at another human being. At that moment, humanity changed. Today, we turn the dusty pages of history and ask, when and why did the first war begin? And most importantly, why did humans kill other humans for the first time? Time travel. Now let's rewind time. We're going back exactly 13,000 years to the heart of Africa, to the banks of the Nile River in Sudan. Here lies Jebel Sahaba, known as the oldest battlefield in history. It looks quiet now, but beneath the soil lie traces of a massacre that took place thousands of years ago. Archaeological discovery. During excavations in the 1960s, archaeologists found 59 human skeletons. But these were no ordinary graves. The bones showed arrowheads, spear fragments, broken shin bones, cracked skulls. Some skeletons still had stone points embedded in them, so these people had died fighting. Scientists say this is the earliest known organized act of violence in human history. Why did they fight? So what happened that caused people to attack each other in such a primitive age? This is where the story begins. 13,000 years ago, the climate began to change. Resources along the Nile were dwindling, and animals were migrating north. Hunter-gatherer tribes turned to the same lands for water and food. The first disputes may have been over hunting grounds, a water source, the shade of a tree, a few fish. But scarcity turns humans into the most dangerous creatures. Killing your rival meant survival, and so began the first war in history. The form of war. This war was not fought with armies as we know them today, of course, but it was organized violence. Tribes acted together, using stone-tipped spears and arrows made of bone. Some victims' skeletons showed signs of a defensive posture, meaning they tried to protect themselves with their hands but failed. The first strategies, the first ambush plans, perhaps the leaders of that era were the first to divide people into us and them. And at that moment, the most dangerous idea in history was born. The people of our tribe are superior to others. Traces of the war. Even today, traces of the war remain in the Jebel Sahaba region. Women, men, children, everyone was killed. This was not an army war. It was a massacre. Perhaps it was revenge, perhaps fear, perhaps hunger, but the result was the same. For the first time, humanity killed its own kind on a mass scale. Anthropologists say this event was a turning point. Humans were now fighting not only to survive, but also for supremacy. The meaning of war. War is a dark reflection of human nature. With this first war, the concept of power was born. The first leaders may have emerged in this violent environment. The person who could protect and guide a group of people was now the leader. And this became one of the first steps toward civilization. So war is not just death. It was also the beginning of social order. But this order was written in blood. Lessons from history. 13,000 years have passed, but the question remains the same. Why do we fight? Today we have atomic bombs, drones, missile systems. But the fundamental reason has never changed. Resources, power, fear. In the first war, we died for a hunting ground. Today, we fight for oil, borders, ideology. Perhaps war is not only part of our history, but also part of our nature. But we must not forget, there was no winner in the first war. Only humanity lost. Man began with stone. Now he continues with nuclear weapons. But perhaps the greatest war is still within us. The war we wage against ourselves. If this story made you think, don't miss this series. In the next episode, we'll look at the first peace treaty in history. Thousands of years ago, people learned to fight. But they also learned to make peace. Subscribe, and let's discover together what it means to be human throughout history.